This is the Cindy's Choice Show, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM, Nooga Radio. And I am Cindy. Cindy's Choice is to make a positive impact in our community. We do that through gathering businesses that complement each other and have the same target market. We provide them shared marketing management, allowing amazing cost savings with very, very much added value. And a quick shout out to my sponsor, Chicken Salad Chick. I love Chicken Salad Chick. It's Cindy's Choice for great catering selections. There's a downtown and an East Brainerd location. There's curbside pickup downtown, which makes it really convenient. Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. That's Chicken Salad Chick, Chattanooga.com. You can reach the catering line at 423-781-1330. 423-781-1330. I have a great guest for us today as we continue our discussions on entrepreneurship, business challenges, marketing challenges, which is a key challenge. 40% of businesses make a profit, 30% break even, 30% are losing money. These are true statistics. Google it. You'll see it on Forbes and so many other noted research or respected news type things. It's 80, I think just over 80% of businesses that do not survive over 5 years. It's just hard to believe that it's that tough to get out there and start something. But it is. It's very, very difficult. And that's what Cindy's Choice is about. That's what this show is about. We want to support and help businesses, entrepreneurship, and employees too. That's part of the business. I've got some guests lined up that are going to be great in they're really good employees, quite frankly. And employers need to know how to attract those people. So I'm going to kind of attack it from that angle on future shows. But today we're talking about something very interesting in leadership, in that we're talking about the Global Leadership Summit. And I have Eric Light with me here today. He's the director of Reach Ministries at United Methodist Church in Ottawa. And I'm so happy to have you with me here today, Eric. Thanks for being here.
Well, good morning, Cindy. I'm really excited to come and share this, with you and your audience today, because I think it really lines up with the things that you're talking about there. It's very similar goals.
Yes, it's perfect. And I just want to give a quick shout out. I love United Methodist Church. I serve actually with Pastor Dwight Kilborn, the senior pastor there on the Ottawa Chamber Council Board. And that's how I got to know him. And they have a wonderful ministry on Thursday evenings. And that's actually where I met Eric, who, again, serves as the director of Reach Ministries. But just touch real quick on the Thursday evening.
So it really does go in line with the Leadership Summit. But Recovery is another ministry that we have, Cindy, that really tries to reach into our community and just to help people overcome things that are holding them back from being everything that they need to be. If you think about that from a business perspective, if you're a business owner and you have employees that they have life-controlling addictions or struggles like that, are they going to be the best employee they can be? No, we want that person to be healthy and whole. And so as a church, we want to partner with our community and through recovery, just help people find wholeness and freedom from things that would control them, and really just hold them back. And so Recovery is a partnership with another church in the Knoxville area. So we receive a recovery-oriented, inspirational, upbeat message from them each week. And so we show that as a part of our service. The service is in some ways like a Christian worship service, but it also incorporates the 12 steps and then the biblical basis, Cindy, behind those 12 steps, that has helped so many people find freedom and new life. And so this is nothing new. It's just packaging it in a way that specifically addresses folks who have those life hangups and those destructive or controlling habits. And, let's be honest, sometimes church can be a scary place for folks. Okay. Because they walk in and they think, oh, what are these people going to think, But of course, we don't want any church to be that way, but especially Recovery. It's a safe place where folks can come in and just be honest about where they are. They can be honest that we're on a journey towards wholeness and find resources and help. And then part of the magic, Cindy, of the recovery is after the service, people break up into these open share groups.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be women dealing with grief and loss and pain. It could be a man who's dealing with a chemical addiction. It could be someone who's dealing with a sexual integrity issue. Any number of issues, people can break into these groups. They're going to be sitting in a circle of folks that know exactly what they're going through. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to know that someone gets what they're going through and they can talk about it and just share openly with each other. So
exactly.
That's really recovery. And I do think there's a lot of a synergy here because, again, you know, if you are an employer, you want to help your employee. You want to help them just to be a better person. And of course, that's going to help in your business situation as well. So we'd love to partner with folks and help them.
And you're right, Eric. It does tie in because it ties into me personally. I visited on Thursday nights a couple nights, and Pastor Dwight has asked me to share my testimony because I didn't get saved. I wasn't aware of Christ till I was almost 40 years old. And you've touched on so many things that I relate to because it's terrifying to go to church when you feel like you're going to be judged, when you're ignorant of the word. And these types of ministries make it easier to connect because, you know, you can relate to people that, okay, I'm not the only one out there struggling, overcoming these difficulties and trying to learn the truth, why we're here and why, you know, it's a struggle and why we need each other.
Absolutely.
And that's what that's about. That's like a lot of what Cindy's Choice is about. We need each other on a personal level, but we need each other business wise too. I talk a lot about, you know, people say separate, you know, personal from business, but no, I don't separate personal from business. Business gets very personal. And I love what you said too about employees. There's actually organizations, I think they're called EAP organizations that the employer pays to have this service to help their employees. That is so smart. Right. Well, there's a ministry every Thursday night that employees can go to and get some help because turnover is huge for businesses. And if you can help people get through some of the difficulties, the challenges that might cause them to get distracted and do something that would cost them their job, then that's all the better for everyone involved.
And let me play off on that, Cindy, because, you know, I think a lot of folks, they tend to think of church as that 1 hour on Sunday. And one of the things that I think that we're going to help people see today, whether we're talking about the Leadership Summit or we're talking about recovery, is that the church is relevant to people's everyday lives. And as you improve people's lives, it improves the community, it improves businesses, it improves every aspect of our community. So really the church can be a key player in helping our community be a better place. And we can do this by helping people overcome things that are holding them back through recovery. And then as we talk about the Leadership Summit, it's a way for us to add value to the business and the nonprofit community by, one, getting us all together. You know, how many different environments, Cindy, do we have where you have business people getting together with nonprofit leaders, getting together with people from the education sector, from the faith sector? One of the unique things about the summit is it brings us all together around this idea of leadership. One of the mantras of the summit is that when a leader gets better, everyone wins. And you think about that because the leader, whether it's the CEO sitting in that office or whether it's the soccer mom, whether it's the pastor leading a church, whether it's the person who's leading a homeless ministry or a nonprofit or, you know, any organization.
Or the father or the mom leading the family.
Yeah, that's right.
The head of household. That's one of the most serious leadership roles that we play.
That leader impacts so many other people. So if we can help the leader improve their skills and their ability to bring out the best in other people, then we've really created a win situation.
Yes. And the key thing out of that, I want to reiterate, is that it's relevant in our everyday lives. As someone that wasn't aware of the church, I was raised up. I wasn't raised up in church. I was told I was Baptist, and I believed in God. And thankfully, I had a thankful heart, and I did pray, and I thanked God. But I didn't ask for anything, or I just was thankful. But the discovery of Jesus and really getting the understanding of the relationship and so forth was huge. But spending like 37 years on earth, not understanding that, and how I was very successful in the world's eyes, but to be able to have the full understanding now and to feel the kind of success I have now, there's just no comparison. And I love that I've um, the people that have been raised with that relationship, I'm like, that's incredible to get to know Christ all your life. But I am thankful, we all need to be thankful for the path they're on, that I do have that comparison and understanding what it's like without that, and how it is just very relevant now. It's just when you understand the truth and why we're here and why things work the way they do, then, and you can apply that to your business, to your personal, to your entire life, to your social, your health and everything. It's all very relevant. And I love that. And I love this, the idea of this global leadership summit, because that's, again, that we're talking about leadership here, folks. And I want to touch on something I talked about. I led into talking about last week, and I'll keep touching on, is I started talking about leadership personalities. And most successful CEOs have a certain type of personality, and I know how to help that personality. I know how they're driven. I've been that personality. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I understand what it takes to get something going, and the focus and the drive and the ambitiousness that it takes. And those people get misperceived as selfish, self-centered, insensitive people, and they're a lot of times not. I'm tremendously sensitive. It's just I have a bigger picture for helping everyone, and it's hard for me to slow down and help individuals. And so I know how to help those people. And I know when it comes to networking, which is what Cindy's Choice is, a relationship-based networking. We manage a networking service. I understand how it's hard for them to be involved in board-driven organizations. The leadership fluctuates. Things don't happen real fast. And that's totally opposite of how most successful entrepreneurs operate. So I'm able to help them benefit from those relationships and connect in a way, right, so to speak, because they need to kind of be educated that, yes, they're strong, yes, they're independent, and they're doing great on their own, but not as well as they could do if they were part of a network of support and help. And I'm not one to ask for help. There's a lot of people out there like me, but I've learned the value of it. And that's a lot what Cindy's Choice helps to do. So you have board driven leadership. And then the other two that I break it down to, you have ownership, and you have good ownership, and you have bad ownership. You have ownership with integrity, and you have ownership with not so good integrity. And really your best leadership is going to be ownership with integrity. That's where your most successful businesses come from. And it's hard to get that in a board. It's hard to get that many people on the same page that will vote in the direction of integrity. And I'm not knocking boards. Boards do very good. Board-driven organizations are a good thing. It's just you have to, just like anything, is you have to know how to function within that. And different personalities are going to do that better than other personalities. Well, and that's what I want to encourage is like in any kind of leadership role, if you're on a board, if you're running a business, and I want some people to get real here, because I know when before I learned to make decisions with integrity, I didn't know better. And all you got to do, if you're making some bad decisions and you're starting to recognize that, you just have to learn. There's no judgment there. I don't judge anyone who's made mistakes. We shouldn't do that. If you're learning, if you're getting in there, learn integrity. And it sounds silly to people that just kind of get it, that have been brought up with good values and so forth. But if you weren't brought up with those good values and you didn't have those good examples, you got to get out there and learn. And that's where something like this can be so powerful and life-changing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. And it really taps into kind of uniting these two, what seem to be very different goals in business. So of course you have, the desire to be profitable and to maximize that. On the other hand, we have this idea of leading with integrity, of the value that we add to the community, the difference that we make in our community, how we can bless and empower, and provide jobs for people,
Hmm.
provide a good work environment, so all of those things go together, Cindy, and I think that's part of what you're saying. And one of the beauties, I think, of the summit is that it brings these two together so that folks who attend will see their business improve. They will see the bottom line improve because they will develop better. You mentioned about this idea of communicating with the board. Part of that leadership role is to cast a clear vision for the future, to develop that unity around a strategy and to execute that and to measure it. And so you're going to get very practical tools like that at the summit. At the same time, you're going to hear how people began to value and see people differently and see them as their greatest resource in their business, not necessarily as a tool or a problem to be managed. But when you actually view people as your greatest asset, that's a game changer.
Yes. And that's a lot what I talk about on the Cindy's Choice show is I'm people and purpose driven. And that's something I've learned, through discovering Christianity. Again, I was successful before that. I'm a starter. I can get things started. Like it's just nothing for me to go out there. I'm a networker. I know how to talk to people and make things happen. I earn their trust. I'm honest, so it's easy to earn your trust when you're honest and you deliver what you say you're going to deliver. But when I got this bigger vision to do something bigger, I'm so thankful now to have a different drive than to be profit driven. And it sounds crazy. There's nothing wrong. Yes, I want to make a profit. It's a necessity, for goodness sakes. Yet when you really are driven by the people and the purpose, the profit comes. And I'm experiencing that. I shared with you briefly is I'm doing something way bigger. This is totally innovative what I'm doing with Cindy's Choice. I've been told by national companies that I'm a market leader, that it is going to be a slower start. It's going to be a more difficult start, but that it's something that is going to make an impact and really make a difference. And that's taken a lot of preparation. I would have given up far before now if I didn't understand what I know from these types of events. It's just like in my personal life, the recovery programs, I was involved in several of those and in my process of getting healed. But in my professional life, these types of summits through church, through community organizations, through all types of things, it's important to get be led to the things you're led to and pull those all together and pull what you need to pull out of those, what you know personally. And that gets us off into relationship, which is a whole nother rabbit trail that we won't get onto. But it makes, I couldn't be doing something so much bigger than myself. I couldn't be this brave, quite frankly, if it wasn't for me attending and getting involved and listening to these types of organizations. It's not just about these speakers. It's about being in a room full of people that are like you, that care and want to make a difference and want to learn and want to improve themselves and want to be good leaders. That's a huge part
That's a
of
great
it.
point because you could get a lot of the same information just by watching a video, something like that. But you've really tapped into something there, Cindy. There is that energy, and you talk a lot about networking. But again, when you get those people together in the same room, experiencing the same thing at the same time, it is both personally transformative, but it also for your team. One of the things that we encourage is for folks to experience this together as a team. One of the outcomes that we have even seen in our own organization is when you go through something like this and you learn common language, you learn about how to talk about how to have those difficult conversations,
Mm-hmm.
how to speak the same language. And so you're kind of all on the same page, moving in the same direction. And how impactful would that be if everybody's working together, being complementary towards the same goal? We're not just off kind of in our own little areas or our own little silo, kind of doing our thing. But when you see the bigger picture of what your business or organization is trying to do, what your specific role in it is, and how that is like a gear of machinery of how you fit in together with all the other people on your team.
Yes.
That can make a tremendous difference. And one of the things, can I talk about the scope of this thing?
Yeah. You've got about a minute.
Okay.
We have to take a break and then we'll come back.
Why don't we come back to that? Because I really think that's
why I was letting you know if that's something we want to run with, because I want to speak to what you said too. It's like, it's about learning who you are, what your strengths are, and partly so that you can be a better communicator and helper to people, but a lot because you can find that person that can do that better than you. You've got to learn yourself through these and learn these skills so that you can be aware. I'm big on personality testing. I tell people to go to 16personalities.com. That's a Myers-Briggs free test, the number 16personalities.com, and start there. Take a test and start figuring out who you are, what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And then attend these types of events, and especially this one. This is global. We're talking about major unity. And it's not just going to help you personally. It's going to help you help people, and it's going to help you surround yourself with the right people. And that's what I talk about with Cindy's Choice, and we've been talking about with personalities. Not everyone that starts a business has a CEO personality. At some point, as my business grows, I'll hire a CEO. I want to stay CMO. I want to stay with where I'm strong, with what I do best. And at some point, I can still be owner and hire that CEO. Right now, I have to wear all the hats, but you can do that at a smaller scale. That's a lot what these types of leadership organizations help with. And I just want to remind the listeners that you are listening to the Cindy's Choice Show on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. That's Nooga Radio. I am Cindy. I'm here with Eric Light, the Director of Reach Ministries at Ooltewah United Church in Ooltewah. Cindy's Choice is to make a positive impact in our community. And that's why I wanted to have Eric on with the Global Leadership Summit coming on August 10th and 11th. Mark that on your calendar now. That's the Global Leadership Summit, August 10th and 11th. And we're going to be sharing some more about that. Wow, this 20 minutes went really fast, Eric. I'm going to have you on the show again, but we're going to be back with Eric on the next half of the show. And where were we going, Eric? What are we going to want to focus on? What will we start off with when we come back?
I think people will be really intrigued by the scope of this event, how it's now a global movement. And we can also talk about some personal stories of how it's really impacted people and kind of see just in the real world how it's made a difference.
Yeah, that sounds really, really good. And again, folks, this is the Cindy's Choice Show. We're going to be gone for a few minutes, and we'll be back to talk about the Glober. That's a good one. The Global Leadership Summit, August 10th and 11th. I want you to be sure and get that on your calendar. I want you to listen. This is very important in some aspect of your life, and we want to help you.